Good evening. Welcome to Chelsea Forum. My name is Duke Bradley, Director of Chelsea Cable TV. And today our special guests are two young ladies that we've had last year. This is their second year. It's Ellen Schwier and Jacqueline Martinez. Welcome back, girls. Now, I know we've got a special program coming up. This is going to be Project Bread, Walk for Hunger. And tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. This is actually our 46th Walk for Hunger. It's always the first Sunday in May. So this year it will be held on Sunday, May 4th, and it starts right at the Boston Common.
And what do you got to say, Ellen? You know,
I would say that it's an amazing event and that everyone should come out.
All right. So the date is May 4th, and it's at the Boston Common. How do people sign up? How do you sign up for
they can register online. They can go to our website, projectbread.org/walk, and they can register online as an individual, join a team, decide to become a volunteer. There's a lot of different options.
Corporate?
Yes, we're always looking for corporate sponsors as well.
Yeah.
But if individuals don't have a computer or aren't interested in doing the online option, you can always just show up on the day of, and we're happy to have everyone there.
You can register at the site too that day?
Yep.
All right, so what town does it go through? It's, 20 miles?
Yep, it's 20 miles. It starts at the Boston Common, goes through Brookline, Newton, Watertown, Cambridge, and then comes back.
But you don't necessarily have to walk the complete 20 miles. There'll be a bus to take you back if you've gone 5 miles out and you just feel like you just can't go any farther.
Yep, you remember all the details from last year.
Oh, of course I do.
You got this down. We have shuttle buses, so all along the walk route. They're every 2 miles, so you can walk as many miles as you would like and then get a shuttle bus back to the Boston Common.
Yeah. No, I think Chelsea did pretty well in showing up last year, and you've made a few bucks from Chelsea, about $12,000 or so?
Oh, yeah, and there were 217 walkers.
From Chelsea?
Yep, from Chelsea alone.
All right, television people out there in TV land, let's do better this year. So that's terrific. And I was just saying, how's this work? Now, you're raising money. Do people in Chelsea, any organizations benefit by this in Chelsea?
Yes, there are. So the money that's raised through the walk goes out to more than 400 community food programs across the state. And so 6 of those are actually in Chelsea.
Well, now, what do they receive? They monetary, or is it food bank, or I don't know how are they recipients of it?
It's monetary. So all of the money that's raised through the walk is then granted back out to organizations that are doing the really important work that Project Bread supports. And so Project Bread is an organization that's dedicated to ending hunger in Massachusetts. And so we know that hunger is a complex problem and it needs a lot of different solutions. So some of those solutions are the community meal programs, the food banks, the soup kitchens that are in each of our communities. And so we fund and support those programs.
So just tell us from last year to this year, how is hunger, how effective is it now? I mean, how devastating, I should say, for these people, because I know I work in the food pantry upstairs in the senior center, and once a month we give out 300 bagged lunches. But others, there's Salvation Army and St. Luke's, I know they do it too, but how bad is it now?
So there are 700,000 individuals in Massachusetts who cannot confidently predict where their next meal is coming from. So the technical term for that is food insecurity. So there are 700,000 individuals in Massachusetts who are food insecure.
That's amazing. Wouldn't you love to have it that we don't have to have these meetings any longer?
I would love that a lot.
We don't have to have these walks for hunger. I mean, in a country like ours, it's just, but it's so nice that you gals are so dedicated. Tell us a little bit more what you do. How's your work progressed through the year? You were here last year, then you had your race, you walked, and then you start right again right after that for the next year? Or do you get a little time off?
We get a tiny bit of time off planning the walk, but obviously the work that Project Bread does goes year round. So personally, I was working on our cookbook. So we created a cookbook for schools, and so that came out this year. It helps schools meet the new USDA standards for school meals, so it's helping getting healthy foods into students. We were working on a range of different things this year. We started a new CSA program over the summer. There's a lot of our campaigns during the holiday season. And then, of course, in January, everything with the walk starts up again.
So you work in conjunction with the schools to see if they're having healthy lunches, no more soda in there, or certain foods that,
Yeah. So the USDA came out with new standards for school meals. And so what that means is that schools are now expected to serve more vegetables, more fruits, more whole grains. And Project Bread is really excited about this because we've been doing it for years, since for the last 7 years, we've been in schools in Chelsea, actually, also Boston and Lawrence, working with the school district in order to improve those meals. And so what we did was we took all of the recipes that we worked on in those 7 years and also asked for input from school districts across the state and said, okay, how do you convince kids to eat these meals? And compiled all of those recipes together into one cookbook and then gave it to all of the schools across the state.
Great.
So hopefully it'll make a difference.
Yeah. Now, do you, you can make this appeal. Do you look for volunteers? Do you need volunteers to be over at the Commons that day?
Yeah, every year we actually look for 2,000 volunteers
Wow.
to help us with the walk. So we're looking for first aid if you're a nurse, or EMT, we have first aid.
Oh, yeah.
We can pass out water. We need stationary marshals. We just, it's a 20-mile walk route, so there's plenty of opportunity to help out
Is
volunteer.
it 10 out and 10 back? Or 20 straight and then buses? How does it work?
It's a 20-mile route, so it starts at the Boston Common and it goes through Brookline, Newton, Watertown, Cambridge, and then loops back to the Boston Common.
Okay. How about a rain day? Whatever
Nope.
happens that day, bring your umbrella.
It's
It
rain or
won't rain
shine.
on our parade, that's for sure. But it's rain or shine. It goes.
Yep.
Yeah. And last year was a great year.
It was beautiful. You know, talking about rain or shine, it was definitely shine last year. It was amazing and warm in the perfect weather, and so people just had an amazing time last year.
And they stay around afterwards, and they have a nice time, huh?
Yeah, it's there's definitely a festival feel at the Boston Common, and then there's also kind of that festival feel at Arsenal Park, which is the halfway point in Watertown. And so
yeah.
you walk 10 miles, and then you get halfway, you have a sandwich and hang out for a little bit, and then you keep on going, and you
Yeah.
get to the Boston Common, and then there's more of it.
Okay. And they all wear T-shirts, so Walk for Hunger T-shirts.
Yes, you can.
Did you bring anything, any props or anything to show? Or you just hand out, you got flyers that we're going to hand out for people that come in here? We'd love to put a sign out on our door too, you know.
Yeah, anyone
So-
who comes in, they can pick up some information.
Yeah.
We definitely have some available for you.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about this Walk for Hunger. This is your 15 minutes of fame here now.
Oh,
So
okay.
I know it's your first show this year, so let's have a little fun with it.
Yeah. So you want to?
Go ahead, Jacqueline.
Oh, sure. So the Walk for Hunger has been a Boston tradition for over 46 years. It's a walk for the people, by the people. So all the money here stays in Massachusetts. So you are actually helping, you know, your neighbors in need and your community directly. It's just a great time. It brings together people of all walks of life right to the Boston Common to really raise awareness of hunger in our state and how we can all make a difference.
So I think Chelsea probably has about 8 organizations that you have. What are some of the other towns? Some of them really need more organizations need their food bank to help them?
Definitely. There's food insecurity is spread out across the state, but there's different levels in different communities. And so there's definitely the communities that need a little bit more help than others. And Project Bread is focused on making sure that everyone gets the help that they need wherever they are.
Have we got a goal, monetarily wise? Are we shooting
Yes.
for, what are we shooting for? Something so we can reach,
Yeah.
we want to get out.
This year we're shooting for $3.5 million.
3.5?
Mm-hmm.
Is it attainable? Can we do it?
I
Oh,
think we can do
definitely.
it. We
Yeah.
can do it.
Especially if Chelsea raises the same, $12,000 that you guys did last year, we
Well,
can definitely
you know
get
something,
there.
that's great. I wish we had known that. I mean, I'm so proud of our people in Chelsea for, a small town.
You guys
that-
did an amazing job.
Yeah.
Yeah, see that? You got it. Honestly. Yeah. So go ahead, tell us a little more about it because this is interesting. You know, we all have our little lapel badges.
Yes.
and-
Yep.
Our buttons.
Yeah.
So one of the things that's really important to keep in mind when we're talking about the walk is why we're doing it. And so the walk is a really fun day. It's, there's entertainment along the way. There's the sandwiches at Arsenal Park. It's, especially when it's beautiful weather, it's just a wonderful day. And you can come out and spend time with your friends and your family and know that you're helping your community. But what we're doing this year is really focusing on why people walk. And so everyone has their own reason. And, Project Bread obviously has its reasons for raising the money and getting it out to people. And so we've been asking a lot of walkers to tell us their stories and why that they're walking.
Now, is there a fee to enter this? I mean, outside of
No.
getting corporate sponsors or trying to get sponsors, can you sign up
So
pledges or?
we encourage everyone to fundraise. If you reach the goal of $500, then you become a Heart and Soul Walker, which is our elite group of fundraisers. But there is no minimum. So if you can raise $1 or you raise $100, you raise $1,000, everyone's welcome.
Now, where are you guys headquartered? In East
We're
Boston?
over in East Boston, so
East
we're
Boston.
a 5-minute drive away.
Yeah, whereabouts? Off of
We're on-
Maverick Square?
Yeah, Border Street. It's
Water
right next
Street.
to it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
Do you want to come over? and
You
say
gotta
hi?
come by.
Well, I'd
Come
like
join
that. I mean,
us?
we did a show, but we don't know. How
Yeah.
about, do you have a website? People can go on the website and donate, and you know, I'm sure you guys are sophisticated now, and after 46 years, you must.
Yeah, people can now register on projectbread.org/walk, and right on our website you can create your walk page and send out emails directly from your walk center and see your fundraising come in. It's a really great tool. We have a lot of resources. This year we also have Facebook app too, so you can actually fundraise through Facebook, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's so great.
It's great.
It's so nice. Keep going. Come on, we want to hear more. Let's go. It's our first show. We're all
I
new
know,
at it this year.
we're getting out all
You
our-
guys had, I know, you came in after 7 shows last year, so you had all this stuff ready. Come on. Let's go.
Okay, well, I'm gonna change the direction of our conversation
Go
just
ahead.
a tiny bit. So I want to talk a little bit about what Project Bread does.
Sure.
And so after the walk, we were talking about what do we do the rest of the year. So Project Bread likes to focus on 3 different things that we do. And so we have the walk in order to raise the money, but then that money goes out and does all of these amazing things in our communities. And so we help children in schools, which we were talking a little bit about the cookbook. Then we have the community solutions, the community meal programs, which we also talked a little bit about. And then we also have this third bucket of farm to table. And so we're working a lot more to get farmers and local producers involved in the solution to end hunger as well.
Farmers markets?
Yes.
Set up, yeah.
So one of the things that we have is double value coupons. So those who are on SNAP, when they go to a farmer's market in order to buy their groceries, they can get twice as much. And so
Snap.
yes, so SNAP is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program.
I should have known that.
It has been that for years, but everyone still calls it food stamps. So whenever you hear someone talk about food stamps, they'll usually say food stamps, now known as SNAP. But it's been SNAP for years.
It has
Just no
been.
one knows that.
Nobody knows, no.
No.
Yeah. I can almost see her. Like. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
But yeah, so we're working through farmers markets and the CSA share that I mentioned earlier. What we're doing is we're helping low-income individuals buy into a CSA share. So do you know what that is? Or am I just throwing more letters your way?
You're really
Okay.
throwing a lot of letters at me.
So,
I'm still working on SNAP.
okay.
Okay.
That one's the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance
We got it.
Program.
We got
Okay.
it. Yeah.
And then CSA is Community Supported Agriculture. So that concept is you or I or anyone can go through a local farmer and say, I'm interested in fresh produce all summer long.
Organic.
And so,
yes.
yes, or, yeah, organic. And so we can write a check at the beginning of the summer and say, we're buying into the shares of this farm. And so then whatever is harvested from that farm each week is distributed to everyone who bought into that CSA program.
Why don't you have your
so-
own little farm that you grow your own produce and everything and then sell it in some food stand like in Maverick Square or something? Do you have that?
I don't think we don't have that. We work with a lot of like urban farmers and people a little bit further out who have the actual farms, not urban farms. But Project Bread doesn't have the resources. We have the resources. We're working a little bit, like with the chefs in schools sort of side of things, but we don't have the Project Bread farmers yet.
Okay.
We might go that way soon.
That's great, Jacqueline.
But yeah, to add on to what Ellen was talking about, Project Bread definitely loves to focus on schools. We have that new cookbook out, and we definitely have a lot of chefs in schools right now working on making the meals tastier and healthier for the kids. For example, who remembers eating pizza at school? It's probably not the healthiest, but now they're working with whole grains, low-fat milk, just really adding some extra veggies so kids are getting more and more veggies at school.
Do you guys go around and visit some of the schools?
I do occasionally, yeah. It's great to see the chefs interact with the kids. It's so much fun. You'll be surprised of how they convince the kids to eat the food. Like, I met with one of our chefs, Chef Guy, the other day, and he was telling me that he tried kale chips for the kids, and he was like, I'm not sure how it's going to go over.
That's a big thing now.
Kale,
huh?
yeah.
Kale is a big...
And the kids love them. So it's really about making the food appealing for kids to eat and trying to tell them that's good for you.
What are some of the good things? Just to throw a few out that kids should be eating. Must be nuts, right? you know,
So, I mean, as many, fruits and vegetables as, kids
not
are
the
willing
big
to eat.
Slurpees and the, all that stuff. And,
Yep. We're trying to shift from to more whole grains, to more white milk versus chocolate milk.
Reading the labels, getting to read the labels.
Yep, and a lot of what our chefs do is just simply make things from scratch, because there's a lot of schools that the resources that they have allow them to take something out of the freezer and heat it up. And so there's going to be a lot of preservatives in there, there's going to be a lot of sugars, a lot of fats. And so what our chefs do is teach them how to make the exact same meal from raw ingredients. And so it actually costs less, and it's still a really good food, and the kids are familiar with it, but they've just made it more healthy.
Yeah, but
It's really
things
cool
seem
to
to
think about.
change. What used to be bad for you now is not that bad. What was good for you and so forth. It just changes so much, like they're telling you not to eat the first, don't eat margarine, then they said don't eat butter, eat the margarine. I mean, it's just confusing. So it must be confusing to people too, A lot of people come from other countries, really don't understand how to read the labels and when we have shows here, from the Mass General, which we try to educate people. We take them shopping like in the market basket and show them how to read the labels, for the sodium content and, what's good. And, that's important, that people get to know what they're eating, how much sodium is in the soup or what bread and, brands. People seem to reach for the most popular brand that's sticking out there, but there might be something in back that's
A little bit healthier.
a little healthier and less costly too,
Well, and I think the fads with, what's healthy now and wasn't healthy before, everything's about moderation. And so, what we're trying to do is teach families and teach kitchen staff how to cook. And so if you're making things from scratch, then you can pull in what you need and get rid of the ingredients that aren't so good, and be able to really make a meal that's going to be healthy for students or for your family. And so being able to...
And the schools are receptive to this when you come in and try to teach them some of these things that,
Yeah, it's really about getting everyone on board. So you want to get the kids who are interested in eating the meals, the parents knowing that that's what's going on at the school, and the kitchen staff who are actually going to be making the meals, and then the school administration. So it really becomes a collaborative effort in order to be able to just change
You
the
had a little
meals.
bag here. Did you bring any snacks?
No, I should have done that.
I could have sworn there was some snacks in that bag. Just handouts, huh? Flyers?
Yeah, only buttons.
Okay.
And flyers.
Okay. What else? Come on, gals. Go ahead. You think we
Well,
touched all the bases, or let's sum it up. And this is your camera here. Just tell us when the date is, what time, where it is, and this is your 15 minutes of fame.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Go ahead.
So we want to see everyone come out to the Boston Common on Sunday, May 4th. It's going to be an amazing day. The Walk for Hunger.
Rain or shine.
Rain or shine. Registration is from 7 to 9 at the Boston Common. If you have any questions about registration, how to form a team, get to volunteer, get involved in any way, you can find information on our website, which is projectbread.org/walk.